covering every county. This is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news from Washington, D.C., where the Supreme Court has declined to hear a case over a controversial Arkansas abortion law. Thanks for joining us for Arkansas Today. I'm Rebecca Jeffrey in for Aaron Nolan. The legislation in question is 2015's Abortion-Inducing Drugs Safety Act that restricts access to medical abortions. Opponents argue that unconstitutionally burdens a woman's access to abortion services. As a result of today's decision, that restriction will soon take effect. Over in central Arkansas, nearly 30 arrests in 3 days on one Clark County river. That's the result of nearly a dozen agencies stepping up patrols after several complaints. Arkansas Today's Price McKeon tagged along with officers patrolling the Caddo River.
Summer crowds crank up in Clark County on Caddo River.
Yeah, that's actually all got to go into property at the sheriff's office.
And still have complaints the past few weeks, prompting extra police patrols this holiday weekend.
This is probably early for us this year. I've heard several people comment that it's early in the year for the behavior to be this bad.
We tagged along with Arkadelphia's police chief Monday.
Numerous complaints about highly intoxicated people trashing the river, not carrying litter bags, throwing their cans everywhere.
Chief Jason Jackson says for the past week, he's worked with the Clark County Sheriff and prosecutor to come up with a plan to crack down on litter and illegal behavior.
Hey guys, how are y'all? Good. We're seeing people at 2 and 3 times the legal limit of if they were driving a car. We're seeing people occasionally that are passed out on floats.
Jackson explains that's when danger sinks in and fun floats away. With the help of nearly half a dozen agencies, in 3 days, officers arrested nearly 30 people on charges mostly related to alcohol.
Yeah, that's a big glass bottle.
The extra patrols also promote limiting litter.
We see a beer can here, 4 or 5 feet from the water's edge.
He explains hundreds of cans collect in some areas of the river.
As long as they got life jackets for them all.
Yeah, we do.
Jackson, just like others, wants the fun to continue on the river they love, if it's done right and done safely.
As Price McKeon reporting, Governor Asa Hutchinson's son will head to court next month after he was arrested Monday morning. William Hutchinson III is facing several charges, including driving under the influence and speeding. He's out on bond this afternoon. Employees at a Hot Springs IHOP will also have a training session after a woman says her son was discriminated against. 3-year-old William Ragsdale was born without arms. He eats with his feet while sitting on a table. William's mom says the manager told her he couldn't sit on the table or touch the syrup containers because it was a health department issue.
When I got here, I carried him in, I took him to the bathroom, washed his feet so he could eat. And I asked her, I'm like, do you ask all your customers if they wash their hands before they touch them?
The manager has since apologized, and we're told she has been placed on leave. Walmart is celebrating the 5th anniversary of its Veterans Welcome Home commitment this month. The program guarantees job offers to any eligible, honorably discharged U.S. veterans. Since the program's launch in 2013, hired more than 5,300 vets right here in Arkansas and more than 200,000 nationwide. They hope to reach 250,000 by 2020. Hundreds gathered in North Little Rock for Memorial Day at the Arkansas State Veterans Cemetery. Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, a 22-year veteran himself, spoke of the importance of families passing on the Memorial Day tradition. The event featured music by the 106th Army Band and a 21-gun salute from the Little Rock Air Force Base Honor Guard. A traveling memorial made a stop in Maumelle for a special ceremony. 145 plaques were displayed with stories of Arkansans who died serving the United States. The city also honored Gold Star families who have lost a loved one in combat or through a service injury. A Northeast Arkansas soldier's remains are finally coming home after being unidentified for more than 70 years. Family of a Randolph County man will now see their soldier laid to rest next week. The remains of U.S. Navy seaman First Class Glenn Tipton were identified earlier this month. Tipton was on the USS Oklahoma during the Pearl Harbor attacks. His name is in the Wings of Honor Museum, one of the 848 Arkansans whose remains were not recovered following World War II.
To have his remains identified and brought back here is just really important, and I guess you would say it brings closure that they haven't had previously.
Incredible. Visitation for Tipton will be held at the Wings of Honor Museum on Walnut Ridge on June 7th. A funeral will be held June 8th. Families visiting at Central Arkansas Cemetery calling the conditions troubling. Many of the gravestones at the Rest in Peace Cemetery in Hensley are hidden by overgrown grass and weeds. In some cases, there's even a layer of mud covering them, so you can't read the names. Several families spent Sunday doing their own upkeep, but they say this is something the cemetery is supposed to take care of.
It's hurting to see that one of your loved ones, and you spend your money to put them somewhere. You would think it would be in a better upkeep than this.
Quentin Rhodes says he has called the cemetery's management company, Finality LLC, about 2 weeks ago, but they said that they were bankrupt, but they would look into getting things cleaned up there. A special birthday for a Northwest Arkansas church. Mount Comfort Presbyterian Church in Fayetteville turned 190 years old. Church members celebrated with a birthday party on Sunday. And in its long history, the church has seen 2 structure fires, a civil war, and once played home to a military camp.
It just shows a lot of people came before us. It was important to them, and we're to carry on that ministry.
The congregation, of course, hopes there will be many more Sundays to come, at least 10 more to reach 200. Almost 200 people in Fort Smith tried to break the world record for the largest street dance performance. They had to perform for at least 5 minutes. But the record is 245 people, so they did come up a little short. But despite that, they say they still had a lot of fun performing.
We had so much fun, and that was the point. We wanted to celebrate Fort Smith's 200th birthday in style and show the world what we're made of.
Well, judges from the Guinness World Record were on site, but they still didn't make it. I love the choreography. Pat might show us some of his moves a little later. We can only hope. Well, a man who set out on breaking a different world record in honor of a local fallen soldier has done just that. Cole Rogers has set an unofficial world record for the most chest-to-ground burpees in a 24-hour period. Holy moly, he recorded more than 4,000 burpees from 8 a.m. Sunday to 8 a.m. Monday. If I get 4 in, I'm happy. Money raised from the event will help fund the Adam Brown Scholarship at UCA. Brown was a Navy SEAL from Hot Springs who was killed in action back in 2010.